I am just having a really hard time still. I I just feel like it's unbearable. Like I don't know. Like I just can't stand it. I just feel bad in my brain. Like it's like my brain just doesn't make the right things. Like it's not just, oh, you have like a bad feeling or a bad day or something. It's like my brain feels like it's totally depleted of all of the good stuff. Like if somebody did a whole bunch of ecstasy for a long time and then came off it, they say it like depletes your brain of all that stuff. That's like what I think my brain feels like. Like I just want out of it. I just want an escape. It just feels like there's no escape ever out of this state. It didn't always used to be this way. I know things are getting worse neurologically. I know they are. I don't know. I'm just having a really, really hard time. Some of the medication is really helping with some stuff, but my baseline is just this baseline of nothing. It's just, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. I have really nothing to compare it to. I've had my first traumatic brain injury happened when I was 3 months old, And my second one when I was 16, I had a moderate traumatic brain injury. And that just made things worse. But this is all I've ever known, and I can tell it's just getting worse because it's becoming unrelenting. And the medication they have me on, it helps me feel less angry and frustrated, so that's good. And, my anxiety levels are really reduced, so that's good. But I'm just left with nothing in a bad way. I don't know how to explain it. Just nothing interests me. I feel no good feelings. That's all I can explain it as. And I'm tired. Everything is so much work. It's so hard to keep up with getting anything done. And everything I do is just like, it just takes so much work and energy for me to get stuff done. It's good that the medication I am on is helping with the frustration of that, but I would like to just feel regular. And I'm not sure what that feeling is like, but I know that the way I feel isn't right. I know it's wrong. And I know the doctors are saying all different kinds of stuff like that. It's because of borderline, or I'm bipolar. I've gotten so many diagnoses slapped on me. And maybe there's some borderline stuff going on. I don't know, but all it does is it just like makes me feel really confused about what I know I'm dealing with traumatic brain injuries that are getting, neurologically, I'm getting worse. So, which can happen with early childhood traumatic brain injuries, and moderate to severe brain injuries can get progressively worse. And so I have two types of brain injuries that can get worse with time. It doesn't matter what they say my diagnoses are. I mean, it's helpful to access some of the treatment, but I'm really just like going out of my mind, or I'm doing the exact opposite. I can't get out of my mind. It's like having cabin fever all the time. Maybe that's the best way I can describe it. Like, what if you had this bored, restless feeling, and you didn't have any good feelings, and you were fatigued and exhausted most of the time, and you never ever got a break from it. Like, it just makes me feel like I want to die. I mean, I'm not going to. I'm going to fight this. Like, something has to change. Something has to change in me, and something has to change with the treatment for traumatic brain injury. And one day I want to help that happen, and that's something I'm really holding on to keep going with this. I can't even find, I don't know how to explain things. I have nothing to go off of. I've been trying to do a lot of research, and it's really helpful to hear people that had brain injuries later in life describe the difference in their thinking, and that really helps me start to understand what's going on with me. Because a lot of it, like, I kind of think like, oh, other people must feel this way to some degree, or they must think this way to some degree, but just not as much so. But it's like, actually, they're not at all. Like, the amount of energy and focus it takes me to even just think through, like, even the simplest of tasks is tremendous. I thought everybody did that, but I just had a more confusing time doing it. But apparently people can do really simple tasks just without thinking about it at all. And that makes a lot of sense, but I just constantly feel like I'm at my wit's end, and I need a break. I think people have like reward systems in their brain or something. Maybe that's a good way to describe it. It's like I never get that. Not in any kind of natural way. And I have utilized substances that are not medically prescribed to get that in the past. And, if things aren't regulated, they aren't regulated. So that's not the best way to go. But that was the only time that I would feel any relief. And the only time that I would get to be myself inside of my head. And I want to find myself. Like, I want to become who I am. Finally, for once. I've spent a lifetime being this other person from the traumatic brain injury. And like, sometimes in the past when I've used, mostly when I'm saying substances, I'm talking about marijuana. When I've used marijuana, I get to be myself. Everything looks so much different. Like, all of a sudden, I can understand things in this way that makes so much sense. I don't know, reality makes so much more sense. And I can always feel it in the front of my brain. I feel myself come back. It's like things connect all of a sudden. It's like who I really am gets to be there for a little bit.